Just good morning.
Good morning, Christoph.
How are
It's good to
you?
see you. I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, and welcome with the Kanzler and friends. So that's the first episode, and purpose of this video is to learn a little bit from you and to share your experience, how you experience the crisis, how your clients are experiencing the crisis, and what discussions you run with the clients, and yeah, and what do you think how the future will look like for advisors like you?
Well, I'm honored to be the first, and really appreciate the opportunity to have a chat with you. I'm sorry that we're not sitting at somewhere in Munich or Berlin, instead using Zoom, but that's the days we face today. That's
Yeah, but
just the way it is.
Probably you heard that the Oktoberfest is canceled, so there's no reason to come over.
Right. One less reason, right? Right. Understood. Well, yeah. So, would you like me to start with some background on the firm, and then we can roll into how we're
Perfect.
dealing with
Yeah.
this? So, the Independence Advisors was founded in 1993, and today we manage about $1.3 billion for high net worth individuals and some small institutions, or for about 400 client relationships. We built the business based on the framework of asset allocation, the dimensional approach, indexing using Vanguard dimensional, other firms as well. But that has been a very consistent theme throughout. Of course, it's developed over time as the tools develop, but that's, I think, been a big part of our success. And historically, we've been a very relationship-heavy firm. Lots of client events, lots of client engagement, and the current environment is causing us to have to rethink some of that at the present time, as it is for all advisors around the world.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
But just also, so you know, we know us a couple of years, and the history of your firm was not always an asset allocation driven investment philosophy. You're also coming from this kind of what we call traditional approach. So how was that? How was this transforming from a traditional approach to a global diversified investment philosophy?
So yeah, many of us, if you've been in the industry as long as I have, most of us have gone through some sort of evolution, right?
Right.
So in our case, we started in the traditional brokerage industry with all the, issues that anyone is, I think, pretty familiar with regarding brokerage: conflicts of interest, lack of fiduciary responsibility, high cost solutions, et cetera. And we realized at some point that we wanted to be independent, which is why Independence Advisors is called Independence Advisors.
Right.
And then once that was founded, we had to go through the process of leaving the world of active management and adapting or evolving more to passive over time. We always had some passive, but we had to shed the active over time.
Right. How would you imagine if you would still have this kind of traditional approach in times like now?
Well, yeah, this is the best thing about having a disciplined process and focusing on the things that you can control and ignoring the things that you can't control, is that in this environment, you can concentrate on revisiting plans and doing analysis for clients rather than making excuses as to why you didn't time the market properly.
Right.
And that's a huge competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Because anytime you hold out the idea that you have a crystal ball and you're unable to deliver on that crystal ball, which is, I would argue, all the time, then you continuously undermine the confidence that your client has in you.
Right.
And that's not going to build long-term. It has a less, I can't say it won't build, but it has less likelihood of building long-term client relationships.
Right. And now in this kind of crisis, when was the first time that clients reacted, or did clients get panic, or how did they approach the way how you invested them, and how did they deal or started to deal with the situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. we have an advantage in that we have a long history with many clients. So many of our clients have been through the previous financial crisis with us in 2008. So one of the things I track, interestingly enough, is the phone calls coming into the firm.
Yeah.
So we can track this. There was no increase in phone call. There were no increase in phone calls over January, February, March compared to the same period, either the quarter before or the same period last year.
Right.
So I think it's because the clients already knew what we were going to tell them, and we had been proactive in terms of reaching out and saying, look, we can't predict the future. We don't know what the future holds with any certainty, except it's going to be volatile. If you're worried, and you have a right to be worried. This is a scary time. Normally, when you're going through a crisis with clients, they're worried about the financial markets. Now they're worried about the financial markets and their health.
Right.
And as an empathetic advisor, you're taking 2 doses of that every time you have a conversation. So clients understandably were scared, but they weren't. They didn't lack confidence in the process.
Right.
In the underlying foundation of what we had done for them.
Right.
And so the most important thing, Christoph, in this kind of environment is that you execute and do the things you told clients you were going to do, like rebalancing, et cetera. This is the most important thing.
And what you did, if I understand you right, is you not waited till the clients call. You picked up the phone and show the flag and show present and do the meaningful things. Exactly.
So we've done a whole variety of things for clients. We've not only done the normal electronic communication with emails and those sorts of things, but we stepped up our meeting schedule so that 1 week we had 60 client regular progress meetings in the firm. That's the most we ever had in 1 week. That's a lot to do in 1 week for 3 advisors. And this involves reviewing the plan and updating the plan and rerunning the numbers, et cetera. So from that standpoint, being proactive rather than reactive is really important, because most of the people who have taken a more active approach to investing,
right,
have a lot of apologizing to do right now because they missed it, and they're not making they're not making the phone calls.
Yeah.
So there's an enormous opportunity here for advisors to identify how they can differentiate themselves from the typical advisor in your community. And the typical advisor in your community, if it's anything like the U.S. and in Germany or wherever it may be, they're hiding under their desks. The typical advisor is not being proactive.
Yeah.
So just to go back to it for a second, we did the normal emailing, we scheduled more meetings, sent emails and all sorts of different communication to clients saying, I'm here 24 hours a day. Here's my cell number. Call me anytime. Do not worry about scheduling a call. I'm here to help. And that was a huge positive. And the last thing we did recently was we're taking the opportunity to reach out to clients, and all the clients that live within 20 miles of King of Prussia, which is where our headquarters is, we're sending basically a week's worth of groceries to.
Oh, cool. That's a great idea.
So it's being delivered and by a very high-end restaurant. And so it's going the extra mile to say, not only do we care about you as a client, but we care about you as a person.
Right.
And this is, I'm not saying it's the right way to go about doing it, but it seems to be working well for us.
Absolutely. The meaningful way.
The meaningful way.
Yeah. And can you share a little bit the kind of topics the clients share with you about their worries and about what they're scared? What's that though? Is about the health, about the future? Or what were these kind of topics which were the conversation around along?
Yes. Well, it's a good question. And as you might imagine, there's a broad range of topics that you might cover. The most common would be, I think, just being reassured that they're not going to run out of money. That would probably be the first. The second would be making sure making sure that they understand the process that we're going through. For in the U.S., we can do things with the taxes, harvesting losses, et cetera, rebalancing. They really wanted to see that we were actually doing the things that we said we were going to do. It gave them a lot of comfort. So it wasn't so much having to talk clients off the ledge as it was just to reconnect with them and make sure that they knew that we were on it, because they had heard that businesses were now not operating out of their firms. Everyone's operating at home. I'm in State College, Pennsylvania right now, 3 hours from my office,
and it's working,
and it works.
Yeah.
So they didn't even notice. The clients didn't even notice that it changed.
Yeah.
And so this was a surprise to them that we weren't actually operating out of our offices, which is a nice surprise to have, right? So it really varied, but I would say a good 30% of the phone calls that I received or messages that I received were along the lines of, Chaz, how are you doing? This has got to be really stressful for you. I hope you're doing okay. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's really, that's what relationships are, right?
I just want to say it's really a human being relationship instead of a broker-client relationship. Yeah. At the broker relationship, you speak about stocks and investments or whatever, and this is more really a human being relationship.
Exactly. So we've taken the opportunity, having close relationships with many clients. We're doing Zoom happy hours. My wife and I and a client and his wife or husband will sit and have for 45 minutes in the evening a glass of wine after business closes and catch up. And so there are opportunities to really enhance the relationship that you have with the client. And look, you have to be authentic about this. This can't be something that you do because you think it's good business. It has to be that it becomes good business because you enjoy doing this.
Yeah, it must come from the heart and from the soul.
It has to. Otherwise they will see it as being fake. So there are two things. There are two critical questions I think all advisors should be asking themselves right now. Now that we've sort of gotten through the most recent past of the last 6 or 8 weeks, and things may be settling down a little bit. Who knows? I'm not making any predictions.
Yeah, who knows?
But there are two questions: what are the opportunities that are being presented to me in this environment for my business and for my clients? And second, how am I going to capitalize on those?
Yeah.
So the opportunities and challenges may be you grew your business in a certain way. You have to ask yourself, am I going to be able to do it that way in the future? We do fly fishing events.
Yeah, I know.
They might be out the window. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So we're going through that process internally, repurposing some of our materials and some of our resources to looking at the opportunities that might exist. But look, it's scary for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
But inaction is the worst mistake. You have to act.
Don't hide.
Don't hide.
Don't hide. Yeah. Last question, Chaz. You're already starting to rebalancing.
Oh yeah, we've been doing rebalancing all the way through the process. So, for example, the markets, sort of touched their lows at the end of March. If we had waited to rebalance till today, or to take advantage of tax losses till today, we would have left a lot on the table.
Yeah, so you missed a rebound.
Yeah. So we've been doing that all the way through. We have the systems that enable us to do that. Is it perfect? No, it will never be perfect. But we some weeks we were entering 2,000 trades, which is a lot for us.
Okay.
A normal week might be 150 trades.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, the answer is we've been doing this the whole way through.
Yeah, exciting. Okay. Hey, Chuck, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Christoph.
It was great speaking to you. And then I hope the next time that we meet face to face again here in Germany or in the US.
That sounds
good.
Stay
safe, stay home, and all the best, Chuck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christoph. Best to your family.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.